2. Read. Before we proceed with today's reading video, please watch 4D1 vocabulary before you continue this video. A. Below are some travel tips. Listen and read. We will listen to the recording first and we will read along.
2. Read. A. Below are some travel tips. Listen and read.
Travel tips. Cultural differences. Before you travel to a foreign country, it is a good idea to learn a few things about the customs and gestures of the people. These may be very different from yours, and if you're not familiar with them, you might make a fool of yourself or even get into trouble. Saudi Arabia. Many Saudis offer their guests a delicious qahwa, or Arabic coffee, which they pour from a special coffee pot which is held high above the guest's cup. What most foreigners don't know is that your host will keep pouring coffee until you let him know you don't want any more. You do this by shaking the cup from side to side. China. Greeting in China is usually a slight nod and a bow. Also, it is polite to offer a gift to a Chinese host when you visit. However, hosts will often refuse the gift many times before accepting it. Peru. Raising your eyebrows in most countries is a sign of surprise, but in Peru it means money or pay me. So if someone from Peru owes you money, remember to raise your eyebrows. India. Be careful when you want to point at something in India because it is impolite to use your finger. You should either signal to something using your chin or even better, your whole hand. Also, in some places, you need to remove your shoes. It's considered rude behavior if you don't. And if you offend someone, the best way to say sorry is to tap the person on the shoulder, then tap your forehead.
Okay, our turn. Travel tips. Tips are advices, cultural differences, differences between societies. Before you travel to a foreign country, any country that is not yours is foreign to you. It is a good idea to learn a few things about the customs, the traditions, and gestures. Gestures, movements that you do with your hands or face of the people. These may be very different from yours, and if you are not familiar with them, if you don't know them, you might make a fool of yourself. You might look like an idiot, like a stupid person. Or even get into trouble. You might get in problems because you don't know the customs and gestures in the country that you are traveling to. So you must learn a little about customs and gestures before you go to a foreign country. Saudi Arabia. Many Saudis they give their guests, their visitors, people who come to visit them, a delicious qahwa or Arabic coffee. Qahwa is Arabic coffee, which they pour from a special coffee pot. The man is pouring qahwa. Pour when you make the liquid, the qahwa, water, milk, any liquid flow from a container. This is a special coffee pot. In Saudi Arabia, we call it dalla. It's a special pot for coffee, which is held, the man is holding it in his hands, high above the cup. See how high it is? High above. This is the cup. This is the pot. It's held high above the guest's cup. What most foreigners, people from outside Saudi Arabia, they don't know that the host is the one who receives guests. Guests, host, the opposite of each other. The host will keep pouring coffee until you let him know you don't want any more. You had enough. You do this, how do you tell? You don't say, okay, I had enough, thank you. No, you do this by shaking the cup. The man is shaking the cup from side to side, from left to right. China. Greeting in China is usually a slight nod, a small nod, and a bow. Also, it is polite, it is a good thing to do, a good behavior, to offer a gift when you give a present, when you give something to show that you are thankful to your host. You show that you like your host. You give a gift to a Chinese host when you visit. However, hosts, people who will receive you, will have you, they will often refuse. They will say no to you. Don't give me that, I will not take it. They will say that many times before accepting it. Before finally they say, okay, well, thank you very much, we'll take it. So you have to insist. Okay, you give him the gift, he will say, no, sorry, and then you insist, please, no, please take it. And then he will finally accept it. He will say, yes, I'll take it. Peru. Peru is a country in South America. They raise their eyebrows. They move up their eyebrows. What is an eyebrow? This is an eyebrow, the hair above your eye. The man in the picture is raising his eyebrows. In most countries, is a sign of surprise. In most countries, when someone does this, that means he is surprised. Just like this boy. Okay, the boy is giving a sign that he is surprised. In Peru, it's different. In Peru, this means pay me. So this man is from Peru, and he's doing that because he wants you to pay him, give him money. So if someone from Peru owes you money, if someone from Peru took money from you, that's the meaning of owe. He took money from you. Remember to raise your eyebrows. Remember to do this. India. India is a very large country in the south of Asia. Be careful when you want to point at something in India. Why? Because it is impolite. It is not good. It is rude to use your finger. Well, in most countries, you want to show somebody where something is, you point using your finger. In India, that is bad. So what do? You should either signal when you point to something, if you want to signal to something, use your chin. What is a chin? This man is pointing at something using his chin. This is a chin. See? This part is the chin. So do this. Or even better than a chin, your whole hand, not just a finger. No, it is rude, it is bad, impolite to use your finger. Use your whole hand. Also, in some places, you need to remove your shoes. Take off your shoes. It is considered. People's opinion is that it's rude. It's impolite. Impolite and rude give the same meaning. It's a rude behavior. Behavior is something you do. If you don't. And if you offend someone, if you make someone angry, the best way to say sorry is to tap the person on the shoulder. Tap, you hit slightly on the shoulder. Shoulder is the side of your neck. You know, you have two shoulders. One at the right of your neck, one at the left of your neck. Then tap your forehead. This is a picture of somebody's forehead. You touch the shoulder and then you touch your forehead. Touch his shoulder and then touch your forehead to say that you're sorry because he's mad at you. B. Read the text again and the statements 1 to 4 and say where the people traveled to. This person traveled where? India, Saudi Arabia, Peru, or China? 1. I asked the man for information about a building and pointed at it with my finger. I used my finger to point. He looked very annoyed, angry. He was offended. Okay, he traveled to India. In India, don't do that. You want to point at something? use your chin, or better than your chin, use your whole hand. 2. When I came to that country, I gave him a present, a gift, but he didn't want it. He refused to take it. I had to offer it again and again, until in the end he finally took it. He accepted the gift. This man was in China. 3. It was my first month there, and I didn't want to bump into this person. I didn't want to meet. Bump into this person. I didn't want to meet this person because I owed him money. I took money from him. But when I met him, when I bumped into him, he just looked really surprised. Very strange. Okay, he went to Peru. The man he met looked surprised. Well, he wasn't surprised. He was raising his eyebrows, meaning pay me. This person thought that this man was surprised, but he wasn't. 4. When I held my cup close to the coffee pot, waiting for my host to pour me some coffee, he was shocked. He was holding the cup very close to the pot. Well, and the host was shocked, surprised at him doing that. Well, this man was in Saudi Arabia. Why was he shocked? Why was he surprised? You hold the pot high above the cup. C. Find words in the text about Peru and India that match the meanings below. 1. Move something to a higher position. Can you remember a word? Not from anywhere, no. From the text of India and Peru. A word in here, a word that gives this meaning. Move something to a higher position. How about rising? Rising your eyebrows. What does rise mean? Rise means to move something to a higher position. You rise your eyebrows. 2. The part of your face above your eyes. Above the eyes. It's the forehead. 3. Have to give money to someone because you borrowed it. You take money from someone to use it and then give it back. Can you find it in here? It's owe. When you owe someone money, that means you borrowed it and you have to give it back. 4. Make people understand by sending a message or sign. Signal. You want people to understand by sending a message, you give a signal. 5. The part of your face under your mouth. Part of a face under the mouth, it's the chin. The chin is under the mouth. 6. To be rude and unpleasant to somebody. To make someone angry. Can you find a word that means to make someone angry? Offend. If you offend someone in India, you should tap on his shoulder and then you touch your forehead. 7. To hit quickly and lightly with the fingers. Tap. Here, tap. You tap the person on the shoulder. What does tap mean? You quickly and lightly, you don't hurt him, you just touch him lightly with the fingers. D. Read again and write T for true, F for false, or NM for not mentioned. If it's not in here, if you can't find it anywhere, then write NM. 1. Qahwa is served in small cups. That is true. We serve qahwa in small cups. 2. If you don't make a specific gesture, your Saudi host won't stop pouring you coffee. If you drink your cup and then the host will pour you another one. He will keep doing that until you make a gesture. You give him a signal that you don't want any more. That is true. What gesture should you make? You should shake the cup from one side to another. Shake your cup. That means you don't want any more. 3. Chinese people will only accept certain types of gifts. Well, it's not mentioned. We read that Chinese people will refuse your gift first, but then they will take it in the end. They will accept it. But we didn't mention that they take only certain kinds of gifts. 4. There is a Peruvian. Peruvian is someone from Peru. Facial expression which tells someone they owe money. Facial expression is something you do with your face, which means that you owe someone money. That is true. What is the facial expression? You raise your eyebrows. 5. Never point at something with your whole hand in India. Well, false. You can do that. Well, you should do that. Don't point at something using your finger. It is okay to use your chin, or it's better to use your whole hand. 6. Tapping an Indian person on the shoulder will offend him or her, will make him angry. If you touch slightly, small touch on the shoulder. No. False. Well, the opposite. If someone is angry, you should do this. You should tap him or her on the shoulders, and then you touch your forehead. That means you're sorry. That will make him calm down, forgive you. Now repeat after me. Tips. Cultural differences. Foreign. Customs. Gestures. Familiar. Make a fool of yourself. Get into trouble. Guests. Poor. Pot. Held. The verb in the past. The verb in the present is hold. Foreigners. Host. Shaking. China. Slight. Polite. Gift. Refuse. Accepting. Peru. Rising. Eyebrows. Sign. Pay me. Owe. India. Impolite. Signal. Chin. Remove. Considered. Rude. Behavior. Offend. Tap. Shoulder. Forehead. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, please share it with friends. I will leave you now with the workbook exercises. Goodbye.